Communicate, communicate, communicate. If I could say the word communicate more, I would. So what does that look like? Well, in the absence of information, the unknown represents fear, or it causes fear in the team that we support. And again, if you go back to our cave person ancestors there, the unknown was fearful, or fear invoking, for a legit reason, because it probably meant danger. So if I'm walking to the cave pool and I've got my cave family here and I've taken the cave day off from hunting, which is a bad idea, and let's say we're walking and we hear something in the bushes over there and I've got my 2 cave kids here, I'm not going to say, hey kids, go check that out. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's a pet. Maybe it's something you can play with. No, because that's a freaking dinosaur behind there, or it's a saber-toothed tiger, or it's a snake, or it's something. So our default setting, again, is that we are, the unknown scares us. It invokes fear. It causes stress. So nowhere is that more prevalent than during crisis, right? Communication is so important because information, people are dying for it. People are dying for it. And so how can you do that tactically? Schedule a regular meeting, like have a standing meeting. And there's actually 2 meetings to that. Have a standing meeting so people are standing. And what that does is that actually minimizes the length of the meeting. Try it. A little pro tip for you. But also a standing meeting, maybe it's at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock every day. So people just know that at 2 o'clock each day, there will be an update. So they don't have to seek the information. They don't have to ask around. They know they can start to get into their rhythm that 2 o'clock there will be a meeting. And it could just be an update. That's it. You don't need to get into a long diatribe necessarily, or periodically engage in a conversation with the team to figure out what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what do they need. Right? They want to be heard, that locus of control. So in terms of those meetings, have them regularly. And then one question that often comes up is, well, Daryl, what if there's no change? Like, what, you were going to meet every day? But maybe there aren't changes every day. Well, then guess what, folks? Tell the team, hey, folks, it's 1 o'clock. Here's our meeting. Just want to let you know, these are some of the outstanding issues. We don't have any real answers on that, but that's okay. We're still trying to seek it, or we're still monitoring branded source of information, or whatever. Or this is what we're doing in the meantime. So just because you don't have an update doesn't mean that you don't meet. So people need to know that you are at least manning the ship, right? You're on the rudder, you're steering, you're doing something, and that your eyes are forward, they're on the road looking for hazards. People need to know that. So communicate that. And there is an absolute tendency for you as a leader to be hectic, stuck in this whirlwind, this Tasmanian devil, whatever. And I totally understand, because it's busy. You got to plan. You got to do all these things I just talked about. So there's a tendency for you to be bolting in and out of your office or zipping by people. Totally natural, totally normal. But resist that. Resist that. Your job is to support the team physically, but also psychologically. Check in with people regularly. And maybe that's not part of your regular day-to-day task, but too bad, so sad. We're in crisis, folks. Crisis. Lead. Don't just manage. Be a leader. Don't be a manager. Don't be a supervisor. Lead. And part of that leadership is engaging in conversation with your folks, even if it's small talk. That's okay. At least you're being available. At least you're hearing them, and at least they are being heard. That's what people want. That's what the team wants. So don't be so wrapped up that, I'm so busy, I'm too busy because I'm planning for COVID or whatever crisis. Take a couple deep breaths, sit down next to somebody, and have a 2-minute, 5-minute conversation, whatever that looks like. But be present and engage. And then you'll really get your finger on the pulse of what's happening on the team as well. So there's an actual practice.